Well, there's lots to know. It's a really big, wide medium, which is why I think data is so vital in it, because it's kind of really, even though it's one of the largest entertainment areas in the world now, it's kind of really quite misunderstood now. People do gaming in their bedrooms, they do it at home, they do it kind of away from prying eyes, which means that understanding it, it's vital to have the data to kind of get under the skin of gamers and esports fans as well. Previously, the industry has kind of been able to focus on a very narrow dynamic, a very narrow demographic, kind of just men, just age 16 to 24, and that's been the kind of entire industry for almost 20 years. As it stretches, as you get kind of older dads and maybe even mums who are interested in esports, there's going to be a wider base of interests in the area, which is going to make it harder to keep on track of, which means the data is more important, I would say, although I would say that. It also means that I think the way that stuff is presented will gradually shift to represent the larger demographic as well. Esports has always been broadcast. I think now it's becoming a broader, it's kind of finding its feet a little bit in the broadcast space. There's been obviously huge investment over the past couple of years that hasn't always kind of necessarily gone as planned, with people struggling to monetize the space. I think now there's been a bit of a correction as we're moving to still big monetized kind of arena events and also smaller little ones as well. So it's kind of still a space that I think is finding its niche and finding its feet a little bit. And I think as it matures, as we get those older gamers coming in, consuming different content to the younger gamers, it will find a different niche to how it's looked in the past couple of years, but that remains to be seen. Gaming is obviously growing in terms of its pickup by larger companies vastly. More people are producing games in different ways as well. Streaming services are people are more amenable to subscription packages than they used to be. In the old days, people would want to own a game. Now they're happy to rent a game in effect, which allows a streaming service like Netflix to get into that space that they probably wouldn't have been able to previously. I would say the way that people expect to play and own and interact with games is changing a huge amount. We see, I'd say about 30 to 40% of people with a monthly subscription to a gaming service, which is really, really high. So people who are paying £6, £7 a month just to play whatever games they want, rather than individually buying individual games, which is roughly the same percentage as the people who subscribe to the people who buy games. So that's really changed, and that's real fertile ground for companies like Netflix to move into.